Good morning, business owners. Welcome back to another episode of Coaching Conversations. Today, we're going to be talking to you about how to make closing really easy. Good morning. Welcome back, business owners. We're here for another episode of Coaching Conversations with
Nick
and Chris. Yes, we got that one right.
got that one right.
Today, we're talking about how to make closing really easy in your business. Before we jump straight into today's topic, Nick, how are you going today?
I'm doing very well, and since we're wearing matching shirts,
Matching.
up coach, there you go.
That's right.
Making closing decisions for clients so much easier when you have matching shirts.
That's right. Closing
Clothing
decisions.
/ closing decisions. Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
With that.
Good. Well, a lot of business owners struggle with the closing aspect. In fact, I read a statistic once I read in a presentation that 47%, this was an American statistic, but 47% of people in their sales pitch don't ask for the sale, meaning they don't close or use a close line or a close technique or tactic, which is crazy. You've done all that hard work to get that client or prospect in front of you, and then you don't actually ask them for the sale. So I wanted to uncover this a little bit today and get you to explain a little bit more about how to make closing easy in your sales pitch or your sales process.
Sounds good to me. So I've thought about 5 key areas, but I just want to quickly set it up with a shift in mindset. I think we've done an episode talking about handling objections, where I said, why don't we shift it from objections to concerns? And really, when you think about that, an objection just sounds like we're in court. I object, Your Honor. It feels like that, right? Very
true. Very
staccato, very almost limited and abrasive at some levels.
Yeah.
And it's the same here. I think instead of closing, how about if it was joining? How about if they were joining your tribe or your business, or joining in your product, whether you're selling burgers or you're selling pens or you're selling, whatever, it doesn't matter. I think when you think joining or opening is actually because it opens the relationship, right? Same thing, closing techniques versus opening techniques. It's a shift in mindset, but it feels different. So for people that are worried about, I'm going to ask them for business, actually what you're doing is going, hey, do you want to join us? There's 2 different ways. And I use a shift in language patterns for leadership techniques for, managers that I work with and stuff, to go, instead of telling somebody to do something, how about if you ask them for their help? I really need your help in getting this done. I really need your help for you to, get to understand this so you can get it done properly. I really need your help to not make that mistake again, dude. Are you cool with that? See, it's a shift, but the language becomes, I've studied nonviolent communication, right? MVC, but it's a version of that, to not keep it finite, but to keep it open. And so I think if you start by shifting the way that you go into a sales process, it's better. So I just thought I'd kind of set that up. Yeah?
Cool.
Now, first thing is you need to do the work prior. Everything that leads up to a joining, I'm going to keep the language, but everything that leads up to a closing, closing the sale, is important that you do the work prior in the marketing, before they even start the inquiry, between the inquiry and the delivery phase. So, hey, show me the product, let me touch it, feel it, presentation, asking if you're the right fit, all of these things need to kind of be
everything pre-sale, if you will.
Everything pre-sale, pretty much, right? So, and remember, we've got pre-engagement. So think 3 areas. We've got the marketing part, pre-inquiry, inquiry to pre-sale, pre-sale to sale, post-sale, right? So exactly.
Cool.
So first of all, you got to do the work. Most people don't do the work and then wonder why the closing part was a bit, it's like, mate, I had no idea. It's the same as, I don't know, if you went out on a date, you haven't done any of the work, And the next question is, hey, do you want to get married? They're like, well, like what?
Mm.
Like, I don't even know you. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Mm.
crazy, right? Or your expectation is you walk into a bar and if you're male, all these females are going to flock at you if you haven't done the work. The answer is that's not going to happen, right? Or
Mm.
unless you're a rock star, but you've already done the work
But
if
you've
you're a
done the
rock star.
work. That's right.
Exactly, you've done the work. Exactly. Yeah. So so you got to do the work. Question 2 is ask questions that lead to the outcome that you want. In other words, the questions need to lead, for you to be able to get the right outcome. So, in other words, if you're asking the wrong questions, usually you're not eliciting information that you need in order to bring somebody closer. Remember, we spoke about kind of the conveyor belt process where you're moving
Mm.
people from an inquiry through to close and then referral. And questions need to be tactical. Things like, so if you were to take this lounge, when's good for you? Is next week or the week after? Maybe on a Tuesday or a Thursday for that delivery. Would
Mm.
that be good for you? So it's a very tactical question, and it's leading towards where you want to be at, right? Now,
Right.
you also need to be able to, just understand what the client wants. Are you ready to buy now? I mean, that's a fair question. Most people don't ask that. They deliver the
Mm.
whole presentation and, oh, no, we're just looking. We work with a lot of builders,
That's right.
I want a quote, get somebody out, and they're like, yeah, cool. So when are you thinking of building? Oh, not for another 3 years. You're like, well,
Yeah.
3 years, you know what I mean? Like, so you've got to really find out some questions that are going to give you the right data first.
Mm-hmm.
Following that is then I like to say, these are what's called firing questions across the bow, right? So,
Okay.
you're testing the waters. Are they going to engage or are they not going to engage? Perfect question. So, if you were to move forward with this, is it going to be finance or are you going to be paying
Mm.
cash? Right?
Got it.
If you're going
Good.
to move forward. So I'm already, it's called prepositioning that. If, we were to build this kitchen for you, when would you like to come into the showroom? So it's
Mm.
that. Can I book you into the showroom? Things like, so with that, is there anything else that's stopping you from, moving forward, right? It's a shot across the bow. You're seeing now where we're past the just talking stage to are they going to buy, right?
Right.
It's very important. So
Mm-hmm.
between asking the questions that elicit kind of the answers that you need to then be able to get set up for the ones across the bow, it's important that you've got those two happening. These are very tactical in nature. Yeah. So,
Great.
and
Good.
now if you do, by the way, if you do the work prior to this, you can imagine. So let me give you a perfect example. I wrote a whole bunch of questions for a builder client of mine, right? And I've
Mm-hmm.
got them here in front of me.
Mm.
So this is the questionnaire that we're going to either be sending to the client once they inquire. Hey, I
Mm-hmm.
saw your ad, or reached out on your website, and we're going to say, hey, can you fill in these questions, and then we'll set up a meeting, or can we go through these questions in person with you on the phone, to get ready for the
Mm.
person to go out to site, right? Because you don't want to go out to
Got it.
site unprepared, that's amateur hour, right? So remember, do the
Mm.
work. And here's what it works. You're going to get the usual details, home, email, contact, details. First question, what works needs to be done? Is it reno, new build, or extension? So we can see that's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Second one, do you have plans? Yes or no? Are you looking for an architect / draftsperson, or do you want the builder to handle all of it? What we try to do is to handle all of it because they
Mm.
can get the plans organized, do the construction certificate for you, private certified. If we're building the entire house, we'll get that done. Do with council, do all of that stuff. And prefer with that we do it. But some people have already got that, so we need to know, right?
Mm.
Next one, this is an important question. Do you have a timeline on when you want to start? If so, when? Now, if somebody says,
Mm.
no, I don't really know, I'm just looking. But if someone goes, yeah, I'd like to start in 2 months, you know that they're serious and they've probably got the money behind it. But then we're
Mm.
asking, if it's going to be a new build, do you have a style for your new home? We'd like to know style. So when we go out to show a presentation, we can take samples and stuff like that with us, right? If it's going to be Hamptons or, modern or whatever it may
That's
be.
a good one. I like
Yeah.
that. That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. Is the house going to be single or double story? Gives us a range. Here's the next important question. What budget do you have available? What's your range? So we put a range, 0 to 100, 100 to 300, 300 to 500, whatever, right? So people can tick. So it gives us a rough idea. Yeah?
So on the finance one, this is a sticky point because I've come across this with clients before where, and it might be just a myth, but with people don't like asking the budget because it's intrusive, and then they might think the client feels as if, oh, if I say 300, they're just going to make it 300. So
Yeah,
how do you overcome that without
that's
it being awkward?
that's a great point. I mean, look, we've come across this a lot of times. Here's how I like to do it. People already have a budget in mind. Let's not be stupid. Most people that are going to do this type of work, it's not like going, I don't know how much the pen's worth. They've got a rough idea, or they've got a rough idea how much they can afford.
Yes.
So a way to combat that is to go, well, if I said 1 million, would that be a good budget, right? This blown out number. They're like, oh, there's no chance. Go, all right, if I said 500, oh, there's no chance. Oh, but look, well, give me a rough idea. Oh, look, we're thinking around this. Now, I'm not, and I could even tell them, I'm not asking you because I want to know how much I can put the price past that. It's like, I need to know. It's like, I don't come onto your building site and go, I wonder what materials we're going to use because I don't want to tell you what the materials are. This is no secret. You know what I mean? Like, and by the way, a really good conversation to find that out is another way that you can go about it, where you say, look, we want to help you with understanding exactly how much this type of work costs. For some people, you may have not have had a renovation for 40 years, 30 years, 10 years, whatever. Maybe you've never done.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe never, maybe never.
Maybe never.
Yeah.
So you go, look, I don't want anybody to rip you off. I'd rather go, for something like this, you're going to be looking 150 to 200s, give or take. I mean, I'm just about to do a reno at my place, and I've got a draftsman drawing it all up, and I asked him, dude, what are you thinking? 100? He goes, there's no chance. I said 150s. He goes, yeah. He goes, if you probably do it, it's going to be better. Speak to a mate of mine. He goes, dude, I reckon you're about 150s to 200. Give or take. So, you get a rough idea and consider it. And the best way to think about it is like this. A bathroom costs 20 grand. A kitchen costs just starting at 20 or 30. So if you think you're going to get an extension for under 50, you got to be mistaken. You know what I mean? And funny enough, it's just a box, but a box equals, concrete and Rio and timber and cladding and aircon and lights. And, there's all of these things that come with it, right? So, but yeah, sometimes you just need to get a rough idea. And that's why having a range is really good. Now, even if somebody goes, oh, it's a 500 grand reno and they put 0 to 100 grand, as soon as you get out on site, you're like, I'm wondering how you came up with the 100 grand. Is there something that I'm not understanding here? Have you got only $100,000 budget, but you want a 500 grand reno? What is it? Taste of champagne, but you can't even afford beer. Like you're going to have this, right? Some people are delusional.
Yeah.
Absolutely delusional.
Yeah. I was going to say a question that I've given to my clients that we put in the same, just before the range question is, have you renovated before or have you built before? Because then, people that have renovated, they know exactly how much it costs. People that have no idea are like, oh no, I've never renovated. Okay. That gives me an idea as the builder to go, you may not be aware how expensive renovating.
Well, yeah, because I see all of these home reno shows that you can get the shit done for $3 because you're painting the bricks yourself. It's, those ones.
That's right.
The Cherie barbers and stuff like that. Turn this thing into $2 million property. It's like, I know Cherie well. And let me tell you, it's not always, on a budget, you know what I mean?
That's
like,
right. And you can get everything from Bunnings, everything.
And do it all yourself. It's like, I'm about to build a whole roof, from Bunnings.
Yeah.
So yeah, you get what I'm talking about. So
yeah, I got
the next one that's really good. Another question is, do you need to organize finance? Very important, or no, is it cash? Because if you do, well, that means that we need to quote it. You need to go away, get the finance, it's all of this stuff. Another one is, have you spoken to other builders? Very important question. Whatever you're selling, you go, look, have you spoken to other people? about this and your competitors. And the reason being is you want to be able to position yourself against that. Sometimes that question is a bit contradictory, but let me tell you, where it comes time to closing, it's very powerful, because if they say yes, my next question that I wrote there, have you received any other quotes? And then if they say yes, you go, instead of asking them how much, that's the amateur hour, how much, because no one's ever going to tell you that, because they don't want to usually tell you that. If so, what did you like or dislike about it?
Ooh,
Very
good
powerful
question.
question. See, that's
Good question.
that's an opening, shot across the bow. What did you like or dislike about it? And the reason being, what you're trying to do, A, is never bag your competitor, because that's not cool.
Mm.
And number two, if they didn't like something about the competitor, if that's not what you do, obviously you can go, actually, we've heard about this in the industry. This is the counteraction to that. We've heard a lot of people don't give warranty. We actually give a lifetime warranty on our stuff. It's already, addressed that. Yeah, very, very important. Here's
Good.
another really important question to ask. Same thing. Remember, setting these questions up, point number two. Is quality or price the most important to you? Is quality or price? The reason being, when you're going for a close, if price is the only thing, you're going to know that it's all just money, money, money. And you've got to go, hey, if I can get it in cheap, are you ready to go now? You've had a quote for 100 grand, 50 grand. I can come in at 43. Are we good to go? Boom, right? So you need to know that, right? And then you can also use that to get around it. Oh, no, I want the cheapest. You're like, okay, cool. Well, if you're building a home and it looks like having a new baby, I believe that, price is important. However, we pretty much buy materials from the same place that everybody else buys the materials from. So I don't know, if you've had a quote and it's cheaper in materials, maybe they're using secondhand stuff. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't be putting my newborn baby under a roof that we've had secondhand timber to it.
Mm.
See, I've just checkmate. That's a checkmate closing across the bow. You know what I mean? Like, so you can get around that. The next one, is the work being done for an investment purpose, or is it for a home in this particular case? Because it's going to be investment. They're not after it looking incredible. The price is a factor, right?
That's right.
And then I've got two more questions. Number 12 is, what are the most important traits that you're looking for in this particular case in a builder? On time, on budget, okay to be a little bit over if needed, open feedback, ongoing communication, tidiness, advice prior and throughout the build, get the job done and just let me know when it's ready. See, those 8 areas there I've just handled, which is kind of my point 4 coming up, ensure that all concerns are addressed. Those are the major concerns for anybody. Like in our case, our concerns are, am I going to, join coaching and it'll be the worst thing that I've done? And I've spent all of this money and my business has gone to the gurgler. We go, hey, guess what? When you join us, here's how we do it. And here are our, not 1, but 3 guarantees. We've addressed that already. So do you see, most people, by the way, and I know this is sort of a little bit less tactical, but most people's fear in anything that they purchase, whether it's a pen or whether it's a cup of coffee or whatever, is to go, I've been left with egg on my face. I went ahead with it. I trusted this person and it turned into this mess. We've heard this a lot. People buying cars, the wedding reception, their ovens broke down and everything's cold. Their second worst worry is that somebody else judges them for it. I told you you shouldn't have gone ahead with that. I told you shouldn't have bought that. I warned you putting that money in shares. See, that's the biggest 2 fears for humans, because it's value based, very, very deep at core issue level, core
right.
level. And then we could maybe use that for another podcast talking about.
Yeah, I think so.
It's that vibe, right? So, and then what would make this builder your builder of choice? See, that's a shot across the bow. So tell me, what would make you go with us? I need to know. Oh, no, I'm looking at another 400. You're like, thanks. Like it's why are you looking for that? Is there something you're worried about? And
Mm.
usually looking and trying to compare against others is people's inability to make a decision based on the facts, and or they're procrastinators or something like that. So
Mm.
that's an important question. Like, how do you make a decision? Do you need to get all the facts? Look at all the, quotes.
Yeah.
Or are you somebody that goes, hey, I like this guy, let's keep moving? Just so I know everybody's different. So,
Mm. Mm.
and then, so number 4 here, leading on to that, is ensure all concerns are addressed. You, as a professional salesperson within your business, needs to identify, what are and there's not many, there's 4 or 5 real concerns. If I'm going for a heart operation, or, recently went for my throat operation, I've sussed out the doctor too. I'm not stupid. Sussed out
Yeah.
the anaesthetist as well.
Yeah.
Is there a, royal commission against this guy for like malpractice or whatever? You know what I mean? Like I'm
Mm.
sussing that out too. So you
Mm.
gotta kind of tick the boxes with that.
Mhm.
Are your reviews good? Are your testimonials good? Can you set up somebody for them to talk to? I mean,
Mm.
buying a house or building a house, as an example, is one of the top 5 decisions. What type of job am I going to go for? What partner am I going to have? Who am I going to marry? What kids are we going to have? What home are we going to buy? It's up there. What's my wedding ring look like? These are big kind of decisions for most
Yeah.
people, not
Mm.
all, but for most.
Mhm.
Cars probably further down that way. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Actually, food's further down that way. It should be number 1, but you know what I'm talking about. For me, what am I going to eat is a big decision. It's important.
Yeah. What am I having for
So
lunch? That's
what am I
the
having? I'm already at dinner. We're talking about what we're having for
the
tomorrow.
next.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So,
Mm.
yeah, ensuring that, and then number 5, at the end of the day, you really need to ask for the sale.
Right.
And that could be something along the lines of, if there's no other concerns that you have, are we good to move forward now? Not today. Oh, you can say today. Not, are we good to move forward now? We're good to move forward today. Can we
Mm.
get this paperwork
Mhm.
organized?
Mhm.
Can I get your endorsement on here? It sounds better than signature. Can
Yeah.
I get you to give me your blessing and we can move
Mm.
forward?
Mm.
That's a permission ask, right? So, so you got to ask. Sooner or later, you got to go, hey, do you want to buy it or don't you? You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, around this as well, I've said to many clients, find a line that's worked for you in the past and just stick with that one line. Use the same one over and over. If you know it works, just use it. Something that we've used in our sales process, we use a few different techniques, but one of them is, what do you want to do? And it leaves the door open to go, you need to make a decision because I'm asking you to make it subtly. What do you want to do? This is the program. This is how much it is. What do you want to do?
Yeah,
And
I
the
think
client
it's.
they
I
can make a
think that's.
decision to go, yes, let's move forward, or like you've said as well, are you ready to move forward? Can I get your endorsement here? I think that's good. If
Yeah,
you're
I
selling
like the.
products,
Can I get your blessing? If
mm,
if you give me a blessing, let's get to work.
mm,
So that works for me. If you
mm,
give me a blessing, let's get to work. Or
mm,
hey, are we ready to get cracking?
yes,
Like, so sooner or later, you've got to ask. I mean, if you've done the work, usually it should be okay. Usually they're wanting to go. So what's next? And I like
yes.
that area where you're saying, Chris, where you're
What do?
literally pausing and then, so what do you want to do?
Yeah. What do you want to do?
And then see what the reaction is, and then hopefully it's good, and then you're
Mm,
good. Even if they come back with, say, hey, I want to think about it, you can then go, so what is it exactly that you want to think about before you
that's right.
go? Is it
That's right.
okay if I ask you? Is it something to do with me? That's an
Mm,
integrity question. Very powerful. Oh, no, no, it
mm,
wasn't. Oh, well, what is it? Oh, it's the
mm,
money. Okay. So
mm, mm,
so
mm.
you can loop back in around it. There's a
Yeah.
lot of different ways to do it. I think what everybody needs to understand here as a listener is to really say that the sale process is really a series of communication and trust building. I like to call it, communication credits or connection credits, should I say. If you've done enough connection credits, you put enough connection credits in the bank, then you're good. You know what I mean? So, and if you think about that, if you look at connection credits, there's a lot. Number one, have you done your work? Number two, have you built connection credits through third-party review? You know what I mean? Have
Social
you done
proof,
it?
yeah.
Yeah, social proof. Have you done that through case studies? You know what I mean? Have you also maybe done it to make sure that you've built rapport, right? So connection credits can be very powerful. And by the way, people go, "What's that?" I'm like, well, if you're trying to close $1 million deal on a tender, you don't know that company, you've never worked with that company, you've tendered on that your first time. The likelihood of you getting it, unless you've come in at dirt cheap prices and they're going to pump you, to go, "Sorry, mate, we gave you a tender, bad luck if you lost 200 grand. This happens all the time, by the way.
Yeah.
The likelihood of you getting it versus, I know them, I've hung out with them, I've shown them value, they know who we are, we've already tendered on 6 other jobs, won 3. Look at the difference in positioning. You call it positioning, but really it's connection credits today. And the reason being is most connection credits are done for you in other areas, i.e. social media, i.e. third-party proof, i.e. case study, i.e. other people, i.e. your social platforms. Because today you can look up somebody. You just don't go, "Oh, I've heard your burgers are good." I've heard your burgers are good because you've got 650
That's right.
reviews on there
That's
that your
right.
burgers are good. So, and funny enough, now you make decisions not even on the burger, you make the decision on the reviews. Isn't
Very
that
much so.
crazy, right? I've done
Yeah.
it. Oh, geez, that place only got 20 and they were like 2-star.
Yeah.
Even if they got the best burgers, I'm not going there. I'm like, I'll travel further to go get a
Yeah.
burger because I've seen all of these.
I think last time we were in Brisbane, the Japanese place we went to, we didn't really even look at the menu. You were like, "What did the reviews look like?" And I said, "They've got about 925,
Bingo.
4.5-star reviews." And you're like, "Just book a table."
And it was
Like,
good,
it
right?
wasn't.
Exactly.
It
Let's
was
hop
great.
in. Let's go. Yeah,
It
exactly.
was great.
Isn't that crazy, right? Do you see how the sale process has changed? And what's that called? That's called work done prior. That's called, questions are being answered for you in the reviews. Like the restaurant isn't even doing the work. It's insane. Like with this, it's address all concerns. Yes, we're COVID safe. We got the hand all that shit that you got to
But
think
it's
about
also,
now.
good or bad experience is what we're wanting to, hinge out
Exactly.
and pay our money for. And, 925 other people are saying it's a good experience. So
It's birds
it's
of
going to
a
be
feather
good.
flock together, right? Yeah,
That's
exactly,
right.
exactly. So, and then we went. Think about it. We said, "Hey, we've sussed this out from here. The experience was pretty good. Price was pretty cool. That met our expectation. Connection credits is about meeting expectations, because if you think about it from that point of view, um, most people that inquire for a high-end product, like most of our marketplace is, they want to make sure that when they meet with you, you're enough approachable person, guy or girl, to be cool with it. Because there's nothing worse than having an idiot there. You know what I mean? It's like it's crazy. Like a perfect example. This morning, I ring up because I dropped off a motorbike rim and a tire, 2 rims and a tire to get one tire put on the other rim. Drop it off, ring the guy this morning, and he goes, "Mate, if you want, come pick it up, get somebody else to do it." I'm like, "Dude, if you can get it done by like Wednesday, it's one tire." He goes, "I'm absolutely flat out." I'm like, "All right." Like he was just being abrasive, like this guy. It's like, dude, I felt like going, "Hey, I'm spending fucking money with you guys. Like, stop being, and I've bought heaps of stuff from these guys. It's just like that. It's almost like they don't want to do the work because he's the guy in the workshop. Do you know what I mean? Like, so you've got to think about it that all of these areas make the difference.
To help you get
whether you get a favorable outcome or you don't.
That's right.
That's
Very good. All right, and speed through the 5 again. Just give us a summary on these 5 things. If you're wanting,
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Number one, do the work prior. Number two, ask questions that lead to really good decisions, so you get good data.
Good.
Number three, fire a few across the bow with
Mm.
questions. Number four, ensure all concerns are addressed.
Hmm.
And number five, you got to sooner or later put the big boy or big girl pants on, ask for the business.
Ask for the business. Ask for the sale. Very good. All right, guys. Hopefully that's been super valuable for you. I know a lot of people, particularly in the trades, would have liked this episode because there were some great qualifying questions that Nick rolled through earlier. Guys, if you've got questions for us that you need help with sales-wise, shoot us an email at askitupcoach.com.au. See, I'm asking for the email, not necessarily the business, but asking for the email there. You got questions or anything that you need help with in your sales process, again, shoot us an email to askitupcoach.com.au. We'd be happy to help. Thank you very much once again, Nick.
No problemo.
We'll see you all again on another episode of Coaching Conversations very soon. Bye now.
Bye.